Hi Year 8. Today we've got to do decimals to percentages and back again. So most of the easy ones you already sort of know. So if I said to you, what's 0.5, you would tell me that that's 50%. And you know that to be 5/10 or 50 out of 100. Yeah. Same thing, something else you might know, 0.75 is 3/4, but 3/4 is the same as 75 out of 100. So 3 times 25, 4 times 25. So that is 75%, 75 out of every 100. Can you make a table up and fill in the following fractions? The only ones that will be a little bit trickier maybe are thirds and 2/3, but because all of the other ones are based on the decimal system, so tenths and hundredths, it's really easy to convert. So if I've got here 0.01 or 1/100th, hard to see, so you could write 1/100th is 1%. So go ahead and make a table now for 2/100ths, 5/100ths, 1/10th, 2/10ths, 1/3 or 0.3, and the last ones 2/3, 1/2, and 3/4. So each one needs the number, the fraction, and the decimal. The only ones that may be a little bit tricky are the third and 2/3. The answers are in your textbook. When you've done that, check them out and see if you got it right. Here I've got 7/8. So I want to change 7/8 or write 7/8 as a percentage. So instead of it being from 0 to 8, I'm going to mark it from 0 to 100. And that's where the double number lines that we've been using come in really handy. So how many eighths would 100% be? Well, 100% would be 8/8, and you've got 7/8, and you want to know what percentage those 7/8 actually are. So which side can you work out the 1 on? Is it the left or on the right? Which side's got the two numbers if I look vertically? This side or this side? Yep, so it's this side. So that's where I can work out the 1. I'll put my 0 in here. So how did I go? And now I have to decide, do I start at this level or do I start at this level? Where are the two numbers that I know? Because then I can work something out. Well, I know I need to end up at P because that's my unknown. So I have to start here. So how do I go from 8 to 1? It has to be a divide, because 8 divided by 8 is 1. And then how do I go from the 1 to the 7? Well, 1 lot of 7 is 7. So whatever I did to that side, I have to do exactly the same to the other side. So my first arrow comes down here, and it's got to divide by 8. The next arrow goes here, and I multiply by 7. So my answer is, let me get rid of that, make a bit of room. My answer is P equals, now let's have a look, let's follow the arrows back. I started at the 100. So I started at the 100. What happened to it on that green line? Well, got divided by 8 and then multiplied by 7. So that is 8 divided by 7 times, 800 divided by 8 multiplied by 7, which is 700 over 8. And you can either work that out or use your calculator and find the decimal equivalent for that. So 8 goes into that. 8 eighths are 64, so there'd be 6 left over. 8 into 60 goes 7. And so what I'm actually doing, let me write it here, is 8 eighths are 64, and so there's 6 left over. 8 into 60 goes 7, and there would be 4 left over. Yeah, 56 is 7 eighths, so there would be 4 left over. How many times does 8 go into 40? It's 5. So 7 eighths as a percentage is 87.5%. So this time we're going to do 11/15 as a percentage. So 11/15 looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's that much. So if this is 0 and this is 15, then this is 0 and this is 100%. So 15/15 is 100%. So let's look at that on a double number line. So how many 15ths would I have to get 100%? I'd have 15. What have you actually got? 11. And that's the percentage that you'd like to know. 11/15 as a percentage. Which side has got the 2 numbers on it? Which vertical side? The left or the right? Well, it's the left. So I can work out a 1 on this side because there's nothing unknown on that side. So now we have to work out, do I start here or do I start here? I have to start here because they are both known. So how do I go from 15 to 1? How did you go from 15 to 1? Well, you must have divided by 15. How did you go from 1 to 11? Well, I must have multiplied by 11. The light is bad. There, is it better? Sorry. So I have to do exactly the same to the other side. So the first step is dividing by 15. And then the next step is multiplying by 11. So my answer will be, my percentage is, let's follow the arrows back. My percentage is, let's follow the arrows back, 100 divided by 15 and then multiplied by 11. So you can simplify that fraction before you start to work it out. So how many 5s? There's a factor of 5 in here, so let's simplify that factor of 5 out. How many times does 5 go into 100? 20. How many times does 5 go into 15? 3. So 100/15 is the same as 20/3. Now, what's 2 times 11? 22 times by 10 is 220 divided by 3. So now you've got to do 220 divided by 3. 220 divided by 3. 7 3s are 21. I've got 1 left over. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 1 left over, so that 1 is going to become 10 tenths. and I'm going to go on every time there's going to be one left over. So it's 73.3%, or you could write that as 73 1/3%. There you have it, 11/15 as a percentage. So we've had a look at going from a fraction to a decimal. So the 7/8 example and the 11/15 example. So now we're going to go from a decimal to a percentage. So the decimal is 0.8 or 8/10. If I've got one of something, that's 100%. So when I say I've got one of something, that's 100%. But what I've only got is 8/10 of it, 0.8. So how did I go from 1 to 0.8? Well, 1 times 0.8 gives me 0.8. 1 times 0.8 is 0.8. So I must be able to do that exactly the same on the other side. My percentage will be times 0.8. So my answer is percentage equals, let's follow, we've only got one arrow to follow back. These are very simple ones. It's 100 times 0.8. Now if you write that out as a fraction, 100 times 8/10. If you're happy at this point just to write the answer, knowing what 100 does to a number, that's fine. Sorry, 8/10. My bad. 8/10 is 0.8. So how many times does 10 go into 100? 10. How many times does 10 go into 10? 1. So this must be 10 times 8 divided by 1. 10 times 8 is 80. So that must be 80%. And you knew that from 0.8 being 8/10 or 80/100. Perhaps you already knew that. If you don't know it, using a double number line is a great way to be able to work it out. What about this one? 1.65. What's that as a percentage? Well, if you think about it, 100% is 1, and I need to go up to 1.65. So can you see that it's already going to be bigger than 100%? And how did I go from 1 to 1.65? I've multiplied by 1.65. A bit hard to see, isn't it? Let me try that again. So 1 times 1.65. So I must have to do exactly the same here to work out my percentage. I have to multiply by 1.65. So my percentage is, follow the arrow back, 100 times 1.65, which is 165%. The number slides 2 places because there's a 100 factor here. So 1.65 is 165%. Here's the last one. 32 thousandths as a percent. 32 thousandths. So what do I know? Well, I know that 100% is 1. And I need to work out what 32 thousandths is. So how did I go from 1 to 32 thousandths? Well, it has to be a multiply. Oops. Oh, sorry. 0.032 is 32 thousandths. So I have to do exactly the same to this side to work out my percentage. So my percentage is, if I follow the arrow back, 100 times 0.032, 32 thousandths. So I could, if you know that the two two slides because of the two zeros here, you would be able to say that equals 3.2%. If you didn't know that and you wanted to go into fractions, you could do 100 times 32 thousandths. I've got 3 decimal places, I've got thousandths, and then I could cancel the 100 as a factor of 1,000 and say it's 32 divided by 10, and 32 divided by 10 is 3.2.